Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf. I am your werewolf. Today we have an author interview as per what we did with Draco Nightmare. Today we have with us author interview. Why do I hear myself? As per what we did with Draco Nightmare. Today we have with us author interview. Why do I hear myself? Per what we did with.
Come on. Okay, I got it down.
You had the YouTube video up?
Well,
Yes, yeah.
That's why.
rookie mistake. Understandable. We have today with us our interviewed the lady of the hour who has just me listed. Humble Marty, which will
Hello.
be which will be interviewing with her book series her two books, which is what would you call it again? The Theater
Uh,
of Nok-Mondu.
Nok-Mondu. Yeah.
Nok-Mondu.
Mm.
Together with us we have the Warrior of Light Final Fantasy fan.
Greetings, YouTube viewers and fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 012, and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. And today, we are interviewing Humble Marty with us and interviewing her about her book series, The Theater of Nok-Mondu.
It's actually just an anthology. I'm just only one of the writers.
Only
Oh,
one?
nice.
Mm.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit. We also have together with us the Hound of the South, Donick Powell.
Hey there, everybody! Welcome to tonight's live stream. Where today we're having an author interview with one of our good friends, Humble Marty. All right, so other than that, I'm looking forward to learn more about your work, about your new work of fiction, The Theater of Nok-Mondu.
Unfortunately, I don't have any screencasts or any pages to fall off. We just going to have to go with the cover art. We also have a second book that she also have, but we'll be getting to that soon once we're done talking about this book. So, like always, with what we did with Jack O'Nimer, we're going to shut the fuck up and hear her gush about her book. So let's go.
Okay, the Theater of Nok-Mondu is a collaborative anthology done by the authors Sage Wolfson, Jeremiah Barton, me, Don Almo, Timothy Schoenhoven, Chaz J. Simpson, MSH Yane, James L. Greitz, and Davine Lagrange. And it's a bunch of short stories connected to one overarching plot. Like
Oh, all right.
Like in this case, the character's story had been the main character of this thing was the let's see. Basically, this archaeologist is trying to save her dad from being trapped in some different dimension during this festival, and she basically takes a submarine down, and you get and it's basically reliving past lives when you put on a mask. Each one of these short stories is connected to a different mask and different a different artifact and a different adventure. Mine ended up being the Tengu mask. We've got Eagle mask, tons of dragons, and the titles of them are Eagle Mask, the Vulcan, DeSoto is Home, that's mine, Robin the Dragon, Ooze and Alloy, Mashana, Glass Universe, Catacomb of the Soulless, Penumbra and Luster was part 2. And they're all really good stories. And each one of them is pure escapism.
Interesting.
I
Let's start.
agree.
Let's start the story that you wrote.
DeSoto is Home is a. It is. Well, with DeSoto is Home, it was a mystery story that was set as an urban fantasy in a small town, which for most mystery cozies is actually a pretty common sight. The only difference is with this story, we had a giant one-eyed dragon that was from French folklore called the Vouivre. That dragon only came out for a bath during Easter or Christmas when everyone was at church, so it didn't get bothered. Some people would come in to steal its gold, but it would forget someone was there, close the door, and someone would probably like starve to death and die within its hoard. It was that ignorant of the world around it. The one part I can put in here is probably my little intro right here, where it's like, "Oh, hey, Nissa, you're back," greeted the keeper the minute Nissa took off the mask. "Did you get your question answered?" I removed the mask to face it towards me. So this was what its owner looked like? I scratched my eye only to have tears run down my finger. The keeper popped into my line of sight. "Are you crying?" wondered the keeper. Heat flushed my cheeks. The keeper was so close, he leaned on his tiptoes. I pushed him back on reflex. He startled me. No, I got distracted by, I do not know. What artifact to give you? Is it glowing? Is it riches? What? The keeper only shrugged. I grabbed a new artifact, but what fell at my feet was not the cane or a baseball. It was a Vouivre dragon toy. The Cyclopean dragon in the purple dress. My face was as red as my ears at that moment. All that adventure for what? I wanted less artifacts made instead of more. "I won you a prize," I stammered as I handed the keeper the stuffed animal. Okay, it was not so bad. The keeper looks very handsome when he is happy. I almost wish it was me taking him to the Mondu Carnival Festival above instead of trading a toy for a Tengu mask and a cobalt bluebird feather reminiscent of the Japanese bird himself. Deep blue feathers, candy apple green eyes. But this mask belonged on the wall of a restaurant, not Nok-Mondu's collection. I wiped a drop of saline from the beak and put on the mask.
Candy colored eyes.
Yeah.
What is the Libre Dragon? At least, can you explain to me what inspired you to bring in the Libre Dragon?
Um, I was I was a big fan of dragons for a while when I was in high school and college. And when I first created DeSoto was in college, and my art teacher was the one who did do quite a bit of influence on him. Like, for one thing, he's a blind swordsman. DeSoto is. And the dragon is the mascot of this whole town, and her name is basically Potato. I I like giving legendary items dumb names.
Oh, no! Don't feel bad. I like that. uh, I had. Excuse me.
I imagine he's probably already laughing his ass off now that he's muting his mic.
Yeah, probably.
No, don't worry. He'll eventually recover.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
No, I'm just reminiscing as my childhood because I used to give characters dumb names too. I have a character named Faiku one time. That was me aping off of Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff.
Oh.
I mean,
Hmm.
haven't we all given our characters dumb names?
Well, at least you didn't have an
Oh,
imaginary
yeah.
friend named Illusion that wore socks all day and shorts
Hmm.
and has superhero like tendencies.
Hmm.
Interesting character.
So wait, is this whole overarching plot is it connected to at least like an actual theater, like a literal theater, or just like a metaphorical theater due to how it being connected with masks, since they're
It,
almost like actors on a stage.
it is connected to a literal theater under the sea.
Ah.
Oh.
Under the sea. Is it Atlantis?
I
I was just
wish.
thinking that myself, but I didn't think it was that.
No, it is it's kind of its own thing. It can be Atlantis if you want it to be, but it is its own thing. It is a little bit of all kinds of things
Mm.
because a lot of these Mondu archaeologists, a few of them get trapped within the past lives that are within the mask.
Oh.
So if you quit reading there, that's where that archaeologist story ends. But if you get to the end of the story, then she'd have made it out.
And so wait, it's recalling to the past lives on whoever wears the masks, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
It reminds me of a lot of really good anthology movies or animations or what have you, just anthologies, period, where you have the main story that's being told versus the other stories that support the main story, or at least that takes place elsewhere. It reminds me of specifically Tales from the Dark Side,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, Dark Side, where you have the kid that's going to be eaten by a witch, Hansel and Gretel style, and he has to save his own ass by keeping her busy to tell by telling her stories. But you got that whole intriguing thing about the archaeologist surviving while we're looking at past lives and stories or what have you. It's got me intrigued actually. Now, what inspired this collaborative idea? You said there was other writers as well, including yourself.
Well,
Where this
how
idea come up?
um ironically it came up on Twitter. Davine had put out this tweet one day saying, "I'm looking for writers to write a collab," and I'm like, "Count me in."
Just
And
right on the spot.
that's how I got in on this collaboration. And a lot of the authors are really great. I got to interact with them online when we did like a little writers group, so we could all convene and get all of this stuff put together. And it was really nice. They're really nice people. Davine was the one that did a lot of the work because she had also had, besides like organizing all the anthologies, she was also the one that had to figure out the whole entire overarching plot. And we also had to communicate through email, and the cover on this one was done by um, Ambient Studios.
Hmm.
And I was just so excited. I'm like, yes, this looks great. And I accidentally emailed the whole thing to the rest of the authors because it was supposed to be like a surprise. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just too excited. I hit reply too fast.
I'm sure they. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure that was a happy accident.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least I hope it was.
Oh, yeah.
You are full of life, Marty. You are very full of life and full of joy. And I'm glad that you found people that you can work well with. Um, i- is there any other stories that you would like to talk about within this book? Like at least like two more.
Mm, well, let's see. I know that on YouTube there is James L. Grant had did these wonderful, had actually done like a couple of these wonderful trailers to showcase all the stories in it, since that's the main focus. and it looked really fabulous. Another one that I got to see was on Ooze and Alloy. The main character is very interesting on that one.
Hmm. What the you have to link us that so I can check. I want to check that out, guys. If you guys want to check out this book, I've linked her where you can find her stuff at Amazon, and you have your own little personal profile thing, right?
I do.
Is there any more you can say about the book?
Let's see. The thing that I could say about the book is it's very good price, and I think there's also there is also a paperback edition to it. And for those that like having a book in their
Yes,
hand.
yes, I'll definitely be put my money into that. Kindle, I'm slow to Kindle, so you have to excuse me for the next book that we're going to talk about. Are you ready for that one?
Oh, sure.
Now, this one, The Adventures of Corkhorn.
Yeah, Corkhorn. Issue 1, Bubble Tea Blues. Yeah,
It
this
When I first looked at the cover, I was like, "This is some hardcore My Little Pony stuff right here," or is there something Mario wants to share with us?
I can gladly talk a lot about this one. This one was a imagining of my own twisted sense of humor, because I basically the whole thing was an ordinary man against extraordinary odds, because Corkhorn is like literally the smallest character in the series, and his first opponent ends up being an air fried chicken pirate.
You don't see that in KFC.
Why, no, of course not. In fact, the part that actually made her the most twisted was that was like the one time I thought maybe I should nerf the story, because that chicken is insane. Like, she poured boiling wine on her second in command while he's writhing on the ground with a shot collar on, basically getting barbecued, and she does not give a darn. Put that with fire powers that basically work like an air fryer, and you've got one very seriously messed up villain.
In other words, it's a psychotic pyromaniac.
Yeah, pyromaniac's a good idea, a good word to describe her. I kind of when people were complaining about how some of the women characters, like all of the negative stereotypes, were getting to be called heroes, I ended up looking at my chicken and I'm like, dear God, I created a monster. And
In the past, has like men and women alike from all works of fiction, like regardless of the medium, like they're portrayed either heroically or villainously in the past. And nobody expressed any complaints of either.
true, I have gotten at least one review on Corkhorn, and it was it was done by Levine.
Levine reviewed it.
I mean, Davine Lagrange. Sorry, I get words mixed up. By Davine, and she summed it up a bit better than I could. And I'm looking past. Oh, here we go. Great artwork. I really enjoy the comic panels. Each character is well thought out, and Corkhorn is by far my favorite. Great overall message and a fun read for anyone who enjoys a suspense-filled story.
What are your influences for your books, or at least for your stories?
Um, I consumed a lot of story-driven content for Corkhorn. I went back to my roots and thought, okay, what was the thing that got me into science fiction and fantasy? It was the animals. On one, the other one was, well, actually, Outlaw Star was my gateway drug into anime, and what got me was comedy and action.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
We did do an anime spotlight of Outlaw Star.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
I
And
can
also,
kind of I can kind of see your comedy influences, but go ahead, final. Let me cut into you.
you'll be all right. Humble, you want me to bring up a funny story that you and I talked about on Discord in the Discord voice chat a few days ago?
Sure.
All right, so funny story. That chicken that you see right there, it's actually she said in the Discord voice chat that I didn't even know what that even is, what she was even talking about, because I thought it was like still like, oh yeah, it's still one of her stories, but like I didn't know like which one specifically, but like she said it was like a fire breathing chicken, and it was just like a chicken that breathes fire, and yet now it apparently looks like a phoenix. And I was just like, what's next? A horse that spits like a llama and it looks like a chimera?
Uh, if it's in the cards, sure. Uh, in this cover's case, the species of chicken this one is when you can actually set an air fryer on fire if you cook something too long and you dry up some french fries. I actually did that at one point, and that's when I thought, hey, that's what ought to be the destiny of my chicken. It ought to catch on fire.
She reminds me of Adamis's foreman in FLCL. Tell us about your hero in this story. Is this like a simple good versus evil story?
Uh, yeah, it is simple, good versus evil. And Corkhorn's only motivation in this entire story is to deliver a box of boba pearls to his parents. He's he's been through.
I think we found your sibling. And it came from a dried, overly cooked French fries, apparently. Because just imagine just like someone making a sandwich, or just like making whatever cuisine they can make. I wonder if that's actually the inspiration for Food Wars.
It could be out there. Let's see. I've
Well, I
got
think
his.
just to add to the comedic factor, just bring in a freaking Gordon Ramsay parody in there.
I could just do that.
This chicken is dried. It's dry. You can rub your hand across it and it feels rough.
Where's the lamb sauce? Okay, we're
I think he
making too many
plays that
food
up.
jokes. Okay.
Continue, humble.
Well, I've got his bio right here. Corkhorn the Unicorn works as a delivery boy for Master Squaregate. His mom and dad run a coffee shop called Luck Alive Look Alive Coffee Emporium. As kids, Corkhorn and his longtime sweetheart, Lisbeth, used to play with fireworks. Corkhorn's horn cracked in the explosion when Lisbeth's horn activated. The chain reaction inverted Corkhorn's magic. Now his luck runs amok when his horn is not corked. His magic will His magic will always protect him by making harm revert back from whence it came. Small problem is it does not spell good luck for everyone around him. For all the unicorn anthropoids, their magic horns are their special trait, yet each magic assists their special talent. Corkhorn has a knack for having projectiles miss him. His small size is not intimidating, yet those who have witnessed his abilities and power call him Captain Corkhorn, despite Corkhorn telling the witnesses he only defeated an air-fried chicken pirate. He didn't ask to become captain of former pirates.
God, I love storytelling like this. Anybody want to take this? I'm laughing
I
because I'm enjoying what I'm hearing.
I am speechless. Not like it is speechless like how I was with Draco Nightmare Star Warden. Cause that sounded cool. This one, which I'm not saying it's terrible, it's just that I just cannot help but ask a lot of you guys like you, Wolf, and people like Miles is like, what the hell? What the hell were you doing?
I bet she was asking me that when I was while I'm developing bouncers right now. I'm just like man, what is driving this woman's imagination?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering myself.
I mean, Rose, he's got the lightning to fall back on, but Marty, my goodness, like this is taking me back to Saturday morning cartoons at best. Like,
Looks like
like
a parody of Saturday morning cartoons, my MLP in particular.
yeah,
In
that's
this
another
case, it's
thing.
an
What?
affectionate parody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm yeah, like my question to her when I looked at the cover, I was like, okay, why is there a pony from My Little Pony on the cover? What's the significance?
And and she explained it.
Thusly, go ahead, Marty. Explain why it is the way it is.
It is a unicorn with a cork on his head versus a fire-breathing chicken.
I thought that was a horn.
It is a
Yeah,
horn. If you look closely, it's a unicorn horn.
yeah. This one, I did I did one of the climactic scenes out of the book, and that was when Corkhorn's horn came off, and they were both launched into outer space.
And they replace it with a cork.
Yes.
We can rebuild them better, stronger, faster, hornier. Kidding, kidding. Draco Nightmare references Earthward Gem. Is that also one of your influence? Have you ever played that game?
Um, I haven't played Earthworm Jim. I have gotten to see my cousins play it at least like once or twice, but that was like years back.
Oh man, playing on the PC was just fun for me. I truth be told, guys, the best way to play the original Earthworm Jim is the PC version, except no substitutes. The Super Nintendo version is pretty good, but man, it's best to play it because one, the PC version the music is a lot better. The sprite animation is way more crisper than the SNES version. Y'all dig?
Hmm.
I'm gonna kidnap y'all so y'all can play Earthworm Jim on a PC.
Don't make me get my sword.
It's like you're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn how great this game is back in the days was today.
Dude, dude, I got Star Wars The Force Unleashed.
I
And
don't
that's
mean
actually
anything.
and that's
So
already
did
the
I.
true That's already the true story of the rebellion. Better than fucking Andor.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point.
Hell, anybody else want to answer any questions? Don't let me take over.
Again, I cannot
I
help but ask you, and even you, Wolf, what the hell were you doing?
I basically wanted to write my own sci-fi story.
Oh yeah, I mean I understand that, but I meant like, when this is always the thing. I always cannot help but ask Wolf whenever he comes up with a lot of weird scenarios. A lot of weird scenarios. Usually, um, what word can I describe it? Uh, I cannot help but ask, what has happened to you?
Yeah, mom had me in the house all day, and all I had was walls. They were
Sound
my
like a
friends.
almost sounded like a mental institution when you first said that.
I mean, it when you really boil down to it, when it comes to storytelling and writing, and when it comes to creativity, this is what I'm looking for when I seek you guys out. This is what I look for when it comes to alternative. When I think of, provide everybody the alternative when our current entertainment is failing them. Are you in the work of writing anything else, Humble?
Yes, I am in the work of writing another story that was called. Well, the working title for it is Hope Trench, and it is basically a dragon slayer versus what is
More dragons.
essentially, yeah, what is essentially a giant pterosaur.
Nice. Do you have any? Uh, have you scripted anything yet for it?
Oh, yeah, I have. This giant pterosaur is worshipped by a bunch of animalistic vampires in the city of Arcus that uses modern technology to protect him during the day because at night they're essentially like rabid prairie dogs. And
Prairie dogs.
oh yeah, when they pop up out of their like when they pop up out of their holes to look around and then just retreat back to where they came. I got the idea when I was looking up, like, say, okay, what kind of vampire stories do they not cover yet? I mean, there's already the romance vampires basically already cover the whole entire genre. There's already plenty of Anne Rice vampire parodies, I guess, and and of course Dracula. Actually, everything seems to be connected to Dracula. Even Twilight, even though Twilight's not very connected to Dracula, it's connected to horny teenagers. The one storyline that they had that actually I got it off of this one podcast, really great podcast, and it was basically during the time when Eastern Europe had a vampire panic. Yes, we have the werewolf witch hunts, the witch hunts, and then there was the vampire panic. When people were dropping dead, they didn't know why, except they were probably like lost for blood. So they go over to dig up the caskets and find out these creatures had untamed hair, bad skin, long nails, but they didn't look decayed. And they had drank so much blood that is actually going out of their nose and their ears and their eye sockets for
Wow.
some reason. A nice horror story. And the part that I found really funny was when they had one of those horror stories. Guy's name was Thomas, and before he goes on his killing spree, he breaks into his wife's house and says, "I'm sorry, but can I please have my shoes?" And then he leaves and then goes on a rampage.
Hmm.
And And that's basically how one of these stories started. And I'm like, well, let's see. What would make these vampires kind of scary? Well, sad part is my first rough draft, I took out their teeth. I mean, I made them perfectly harmless. It's like, no wonder, no wonder, no wonder Dracula was fudged a bit. And what would have made him scary? Well, they ended up worshipping some giant pet pterosaur freak.
Oh wow.
Giant beak comes crashing down from the ground, scoops something up, but throws it down its pelican pouch. And what do the people around there? They say, "Huzzah! Blessing!"
This is way better than this idea of a vampire that drinks blood through menstrual.
Holy cow! Who thought that up?
Me in my edgelord days.
Oh, um, interesting story.
No, it would not be an interesting story because I'm that dumb. Like, how would that even work? Especially if he's supposed to be falling in love with a girl.
Um, it is Rule 63 territory, my friend. Rule
Yes, it
63.
is. Yes, it is. But yeah, Hey, hey, is that all? Is that all the stories that you can think of, or
Well,
who are your biggest influences actually?
oh, my biggest influences.
Yeah.
Um, my biggest influences was bumming on manga tutorials online on the internet. That was
Manga
one of my
tutorial.
yes, that was one of my biggest influences. It was the one thing that also got me into actually drawing people and not just glorified stick figures.
Oh, we've been there before.
I I'd also gotten into a lot of web comics, a lot of I don't know. I'd gotten into a lot of web comics, fantasy stories. At one time, I had this upperclassman that was drawing this really cool thing. It's like, oh, that looks really cool. How do you draw that? And she says, go to your local library. And I did. And that was basically how I got started.
Hmm. Any of you guys want to take this? Any you want to add anything to this, guys?
Nope.
I do
No.
actually.
Go on.
No, I got a question. Well, besides literary influences, who are your major influences in the art department?
Um, in the art department, it's been, let's see, the first artist I studied was probably Patrick Shuttlesworth because that's the one website I'd used. It's well over 10 years by now. It was Polycarbon Art Tutorials.
Oh, all right.
And the other arts, actually, a lot of the artists I've been influenced by were basically Looney Tunes, the Bloody Roar Primal Fury GameCube game, of course, a lot of anime. And I used to, as a kid, get up at the crack of dawn when everyone's asleep to go watch cartoons when no one was around. Because that's when I knew that was a time when I could get to watch what I wanted. And I was a channel flipper, nose to the TV sort of person. And I can say the benefits of that is you don't have any supervision. The not so good benefits to that is you have no supervision. And I ended up coming across 80 tank police by mistake, and I found out the dirty dancing of the cat girls had gone past the censors. And that was the one time my little kid me was like, I need an adult.
You poor thing.
Oh, to answer Draco Nightmare, Final Fantasy fan being quiet usually means he likes the story much. Depends. Like, Star Warden actually sounds really interesting, Draco. This one, the first one actually sounds interesting. This one is just. This sounds like something that I feel like Wolf would write.
Really now.
Yes, because anytime you write straight stuff like this, I always cannot help but ask Humble, or in such case, you again. What the hell happened to you?
Who touched you?
Or one of the questions, exactly, yeah. Who touched you? Or what happened to you? What's gotten into you? Or
uh,
no, not what's gotten into you. That'd be, but just what happened to you?
a perfectly normal childhood.
Oh,
And
She's more humble than I am.
like a story about like a like a unicorn who suddenly had his horn broken, but then replaced with a cork, fighting a chicken who looks like a phoenix and breathes fire like a dragon. I just like. Wait, you can't see my face. There it is.
I will admit, Corkhorn is one of my stranger stories. I mean, I've basically did cyborg grizzlies, giant boa constrictors.
Oh, tell us
Um,
more. Tell us more about the enemies of Corkhorn,
oh,
please.
all the different pirates.
Cyber Grizzlies, you say?
Yeah, yeah. There are a set of twins. One's called Dr. IE, he's the ship's doctor, and the other one is called Mr. Ziz.
Mr. Ziz.
Yeah,
This is some
Mr.
straight up
Ziz
this is some
is
straight up
the
Battletoad stuff right here.
yeah, Mr. Ziz is the ship's carpenter.
This is some straight up talking about some from Mars type deal here. Limburger. Anyone? You had to watch something of the 90s.
Uh, well, considering I was a child of the 90s, yeah, I grew up a lot on the 90s.
Well, a majority of us here in this panel are '90s kids.
Not me, I'm a late 80s kid.
Which is why I said most. Anyway, well, as a follow-up to Wolf's question, since you mentioned Warner Bros. Looney Tunes as one of your major influences in the arts, for Corkhorn, like which out of Looney Tunes character, which one did you base it more off of, or
Mm,
which one or two Looney Tunes characters did you take cues from to make your character?
I didn't really take any cues from Looney Tune characters to make him. I did take some cues on the cartoon physics,
hmm.
and also Chuck. I think Chuck Jones had these really great rules for when you're writing a character. You write like expect the unexpected. Like if you have
Hello,
something
Nick.
happen
Yeah.
this way, go like if you have a squirrel trying to open a coconut, make that coconut once it hits the ground crack the entire floor.
We have a new viewer today, Nick. Yeah, he says, "How is it possible this round stream can't put my YouTube recommendations? You vacation here often, dude? Stick around, or at least peruse through our material if you like. Up to you, dude. I'm not pointing a gun to your head, but we are a rowdy bunch, and we do our part to entertain as best we can."
Oh, welcome to the stream, Nick. We're just talking about weird books.
Yeah, and
That
also
she wrote.
I see or no, not Humble. She's already there. Red Sorceress saying, so what you're saying that you sometimes question if Wolf is sane.
Stop it! You're flattering me.
Does he?
Oh,
Does he
oh,
sound
don't worry.
sane?
Oh, don't worry, sorcerer. It's like he. Oh, our friend Wolf here is sane. He is what you would call a chivalrous perverted wolf.
Yeah, think Master Roshi from Dragon Ball.
Fancy myself
And of
more of a
course,
Jiraiya.
Mm.
well, if you're a Jiraiya, then Jiraiya like consider us as like Tsunade and one of the members of Team Seven to keep you in check.
Well, he did end up being Naruto's godfather, and the reason why Naruto got named after a fish cake.
You're not
Oh,
wrong.
though that's probably not supposed to be the part I'm supposed to remember, but I remember when they did that one flashback episode, and Minato's like, "Oh, guess what? I'm naming the kid after the hero in your book." And Jiraiya's like, "Are you sure? Because I was eating lunch at the time, and I just used that name for a working title, and he didn't change it." And that's basically how Naruto got his name.
Hmm, that's so wholesome.
Yeah, it is. And less we talk about Boruto, the better.
Oh well, I didn't even touch Boruto because at that point I didn't even care about Naruto that much. I stopped after the Sasuke arc.
Yeah, I can understand why you would jump out after that one.
It's like we got the Akatsuki situation going on, and all Naruto wants to do is find his freaking friend. Especially his friend had told him to leave him the hell alone. It's like,
However, to Naruto's credit, he stuck to his guns and was able to redeem Sasuke.
That is true.
Plus, plus, you could tell that the mangaka like really did his research on Japanese mythology and incorporated it into Naruto.
yeah, but let's not go there. Let's just not go there. So, any other influence you want to label humble, or is that all?
Mm, I well, um, for Corkhorn's story, I tried using the lesser dense plot formula to try and keep it under 6,000 words. It ended up being more than 6,000 words. It ended up being a few chapters.
Not bad. Well,
Yeah, not bad at all.
like I said, guys, she's got the anthology book in the links, and we also have her personal book in the links. If you guys are
The anthology
interested,
book actually sounds really interesting. I'm not gonna lie.
all I'm
Yeah,
saying
same
is,
here.
if Neostar was here, he'll probably buy it. If Neostar watches in the backwash, he'll probably buy it anyways. That man likes to spend money on people he loves. Good on him.
Aww.
Cause
Yeah.
it's no sooner than we did Draco's interview, he immediately bought Star Wars.
Well,
Immediately.
well,
Just like
Wow.
just like how
yeah.
probably as fast as probably you guys would buy some of Ishii's books.
Um,
Oh
Well,
man.
I don't have scars, but I actually have Case File Arkham and World War Kaiju from him and Cat.
Hmm.
Oh.
I did get the Robomancer, Scars, and Ridiculum.
I acquired scars from a former associate of ours
Mm.
and case file Arkham.
Oh,
It's like, man,
cool.
I need to stop acquiring free stuff. I need to stick to my principles. Ain't nothing in this world for free.
Yeah.
So I need to start supporting the alternative myself and practice what I preach. So
Wonderful.
I'll be doing some shopping in the middle of
All
this
right.
year.
Well, if we're gonna be doing that, well, just make sure you don't spend too much.
Oh, don't worry. I'm just look. The, it's not that I'm hesitant to buy. It's more of the delivery side of things.
Hmm. With
And
shipping and delays.
well, not even that. Just I'm always worried when it arrives. I'm not around to pick it up.
Mm.
Oh.
And in my local area, yeah, just pretty I'm plenty cautious around my neighbors.
It's a good caution, though.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad I was able to receive the package. My wife had brought it in, so I was like, okay, I'm a little lax now, but still that caution still rings true. So what Nick said, I got pretty good results having it write a script for Fox Mulder investigating Dale Gribble for posting questionable content online and then determine that Dale is the key to finding his lost sister.
Oh,
Well, man,
nice.
keep writing, keep writing, Nick. And oh man, besides
The X
that
Files.
other dragon book that you're writing, any other ideas that you're planning to do, Humble?
Or
Well,
outlining.
um, one of the comic scripts I'm currently working on, and it is slow going because I'm basically figuring out everything panel by panel. Is a Corkhorn comic that's a direct sequel to the book.
Hmm.
Oh, all right.
And I
So,
might. Oh, sorry.
well,
And oh, yeah. Sorry, gone.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Since you're developing this sequel for your first Corkhorn comic, did you do the first one digitally or traditionally through pencil and inks?
I I went digital because yeah, I went digital on it. And if you want to see what the comic looks like, the first two pages of the pages of the prologue are available on Tapas.
Tapas.
Yeah, Tapas is actually an app for web comics and novels. It has probably a wide variety of things. They like to advertise most of their romances more, but if you go through the search tool, you can find more of their manhwas and some of the other webtoons. Like one of my favorite webtoons that I've followed had been Pigeon Gazette, which was basically about some girl in her 20s doing weird things, and that one had an interesting amount of humor. And there was another one I'd gotten to do, and I think it was called The Beast Hospital. And it is actually really good because this vet had been her hospital was her pet hospital was going out of business until she ended up getting this mythical creature to be one of her first patients. And it's funny because she's also got a nurse for a werewolf nurse, a front desk lady who ends up fainting a lot because she didn't know about the supernatural creatures for the longest time. Um, a fat cat that used to be some tiger spirit and now is named after Ed from Full Metal Alchemist, and all kinds of other stuff. And it's actually a really fun story.
So
Okay.
so what is your process with these stories, or at least when you create stories? How do you
Um,
what do you go about? Do you start the idea and then you follow through?
yeah, I kind of, well, let's see. I usually I outline it, and then the rough drafts get pants. That's basically written by the spur of the moment. Not all of it spur of the moment, though, because let's see, for Hope Trench, it had. I started out with my basic characters, and you got the character, plot, setting, story.
Hmm.
And the theme will just figure out itself.
Oh, nice. I like the title too, Hope Trench. I think you should stick with that. You said it's a
Me
working
too.
title, right?
Yeah, it's a working title. I needed something to fill in one of the blanks in my outline, and I got the title off of the answer sheet to a crossword puzzle at the salon.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Oh
Well,
my
that's one
goodness.
way to do it.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad this interview happened. Man, I wish Schooner was a weekend, man.
There's always there's always that next time where we can have a wolf.
Yeah, I just want to hear his cackle. Cause I know he would get a kick out. Like, my goodness, humble. You just sitting there, you're just entertaining. It's just that's a crossword puzzle. What? That's just amazing. Though you're not the only one that's ever chosen names from interesting sources. But it's nice to hear something like that. It's like Hope Trench. How'd you come with that? Got it from a crossword puzzle. So anything else, guys? You guys want to wrap it up now?
Well,
For
what the,
sure.
one last thing I can say is keep not only keep up the good work, humble Marty, but also continue improving as an artist in both literature and in illustration.
Got
Thank you.
Yeah, guys. I've linked her her Amazon page twice for her book The Adventures of Corkhorn, and her other book The Theater of Nok-Mondu. Give it a check out. They're very good. They're at a very good price. Very decent. Very cheap price. If what Mari has said so far has interested you, please go ahead and purchase if you like. That don't be shy. They're easy. From what I'm gathering, they're easy reads. Am I correct? Or am I just underselling it?
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty easy reads. Uh, the theater Nok-Mondu would probably be a bit more variety read. The Corkhorn story is definitely a curiosity read.
Well, if nothing else, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. Those full three of you, and those nine system motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. Thank you, Nick, for joining us on this this unexpected visit of yours. And hopefully we'll get more people in the near future. We have so far, Will Commander Rebels have reached 339. I'm gonna guess it was Bruce that subscribed to me. Bruce
Nice.
Lombard from yesterday, from yesterday's visit. So I'm guessing he's the 339th. Thank you, Humble, for sharing us your stories. Even though, I mean, you said enough. You said just enough for us to pique our interest. It piqued my interest definitely. So I want I
Mine
want to
too.
read the My Little Pony space battle between a horse and a chicken, and the Nok-Mondu And Nok-Mondu has really got me very You get off me, you little shits. Things trying to latch on you like a freaking face hugger. Anyways, Nok-Mondu has really got me interested because I've been a fan of anthology stories all my life. So so what's another anthology book to add to my collection? I don't have that many anthology books anyways, but it would be nice to have one in my collection of books.
I think Davine Lagrange and James L. Gantz has also done a cyberpunk anthology, and I think you could find that on his Amazon page.
Hmm.
And his is all of the authors that have written in the anthology, a lot of their pages and like they're all down below, so you could click on any one of them to see any more of their stuff if you like what was in the theater of Nok-Mondu.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you. Sorry. Let me get my thoughts straight. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, my compadres, our avid book readers, our resident avid book readers and manga readers on the panel, starting with the Warrior of Life Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure to ring that notification bell. That way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to 1210 Media if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. And be sure you stay tuned for Comic Studies Episode 7 coming up in June. This June. Yeah, this upcoming June. As I will be covering Superman for all seasons for Superman's 85th anniversary this year. It's going to be quite the doozy for that one. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
The Hound of the South, Donic Powell.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us in tonight's live streaming. If you like what you see here, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to Wolf10 Media's channel. Make sure you subscribe to Final's channel as well. If there are any topics or others that you want us to interview in the future, put that down in the comment section down as well. This is the Hound of Self, Dominic Powell, signing off, and remember to keep hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world because right now, I know there are forces out there that want to make things more dark.
Let's kick their asses.
Dang straight.
I'm surprised he even agreed with me on that. So anyway, welcome into Wolf 10. Remind you guys once again, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.